Hello, welcome back to the Epic Film Challenge 2, Episode 4. Yeah.
Haven't done this in ages, and we're starting off with this.
It's been a year, actually.
And this is what we start out with.
But just before we get onto the film itself, we have been watching films from the book, 1001 Films You Must See Before You Die. Not really consciously, though, but over the past year or so, we've watched a ton of films. A few of them specifically because it was in the book, and a few of them just because they just were.
We've seen so many others.
We've seen so many others, so we'll get round to them, and we'll get back going with this series, But
we remember them.
We will, because I keep a list of every film I watch. So.
Yeah, but do you remember what happened in them?
Of course I do.
The movies that you haven't seen?
Yeah,
anyways,
yeah.
We'll just do this one.
Yeah, right. This is what happens with us when we make videos together. But again, this series is going to go on for years anyway. But Connie's really frustrated, not because of this awkward opening to the video, but because of the film in hand in question.
What do you mean awkward? It's brilliant.
Not awkward, it's not brilliant. It's definitely not brilliant. 2001, A Space Odyssey, 1968, Stanley Kubrick. Lauded as... Again, our cat is just providing us with some background entertainment while we make the video. A film lauded as one of the greatest sci-fi movies and one of the most debated movies, I think, of all time. Before Connie gets into her thoughts on the film, we just watched this, and I felt like we should start this series up again because you had a really strong response to the film. Wait for it, we'll get to it. So I thought it would be good to film this straight after we watch the film so that your opinions on it would be fresh, or your reactions to it at least. 2001: A Space Odyssey is about a 2.5-hour film, split into 4 acts. The first act is the dawn of man, and it's almost like a silent movie sequence with just apes. It's not silent. You hear them, screaming at each other, but there's no dialogue. It's just apes. Maybe about 20 minutes long, 15 minutes long, something like that.
At least.
Yeah, and I really liked it. The imagery was just fantastic. The cinematography was great, and
yeah, agree to that.
So these apes they're there.
The makeup is amazing too. Like
Definitely.
I wish the people that worked on this movie worked with the people in the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, which was the same year, but I think that they're different because this was real apes and Planet of the Apes was like the ape-human hybrid. But anyway, so this big black kind of rectangular object, a monolith, appears in the age of the apes, and they're like trying to find out what it is, and then suddenly this weird music comes in, and then an ape
music noise that I had to turn down 10 freaking things on the remote because it just kept getting louder.
It's quite shrill. Yeah. I think you said while we were watching it, it's like 50 people just like shouting.
Yeah. It was like 50 people acting like they're ghosts.
That's
right.
right.
Like, whoa! It was like in Beetlejuice when they're pretending to be ghosts.
It was actually, yeah. Actually,
and just put 50 of those on, and there you got it.
Yeah.
Maybe a flute.
So this monolith appears, and then an ape finds a bone, and suddenly clicks that he can use it as a weapon to attack another tribe of apes, and then he throws the bone up. And then the famous cut where the bone that flies through the air, boom! It's like a big thing in space outside of Earth, and you jump forward like hundreds of thousands of years, or however long it was. And now the space age is going, and then we have the sequence where it's like a big space station outside of Earth, and then a guy going to the moon, and then they found something on the moon, and it's the monolith again, or another monolith. We don't know if it's the same one. And then it's emitting this strange signal, and again the ghost screaming stuff.
Turn the volume down again.
And then it cuts to the third act of the film, which is a mission to Jupiter. And we later find out it's because the signal from the monolith on the moon that they dug up was emitting a signal to Jupiter. And then at the end of the third act, again this is spoiling things, so if you haven't seen the film, probably.
Well, really,
whatever.
What is it spoiling, really? I'm just saying.
And in the third act of the film, they find this other monolith, and then that leads into the fourth act of the film, which is where it concludes, and you draw your own conclusions. But for me, again, just hold on to it, bite your tongue. For me, I've seen the film once before, and I really liked it, but it was very long and very slow to me, and the visual style is amazing. It's some of the best visual effects I've seen, even up to today standards, and the fact that it was all practical effects is brilliant. You know, there's no CGI, nothing was built in a computer.
You're sat there thinking, how do they do that?
Yeah, it just looks fantastic. And I think people kind of look at Star Wars as like the first film that did special effects so well, but really it was 10 years earlier when this film came out. They just did some amazing stuff in the space, and there's some fantastic shots just generally as well.
I'd like to see behind the scenes actually,
yeah,
like how they made it, because that was the best part of the whole thing. Like so ahead of their time.
And all the stuff on the space station, like the spinning wheel. In fact, the reason that we watched this to begin with was because about a week and a half ago, Connie got really interested in space and the universe and stuff. We watched this video which kind of showed the scale of the universe, and you were really overwhelmed by it and got more interested in it. You've been watching documentaries and stuff. So we watched some space movies. We watched Contact, which I love, Gravity, another great one, Mission to Mars, which has a kind of circular thing in it. I guess that's probably a tribute to 2001.
Yeah, I've seen other movies with that as well.
Oh, okay. And what else did we watch? No, that was it. And so I decided I was
going... a lot of shows, like documentaries.
Yeah, documentaries. But I thought it would be a good time to take advantage of your renewed interest, not renewed, but new interest in the universe.
Somehow I missed the fact that it's made in the 60s. Because all I heard was 2001.
She thought it came out in 2001.
Yes. And so when I look at the title, I'm like, why does it say 1968? It's like, that's when it's made. Oh god, no.
Yeah, I really did.
But
I
he made me look at the trailer, and I saw
the cinematography.
Yes, and that was just really, really amazing. Like even the opening shots.
Yeah. But it really was.
Pointless, but still, it's really.
I honestly think this period now is probably one of the only times I could get you to watch this when you're so interested in space. Yeah. Because it is a slow film, and even me, I find it a bit dragging at times. I think it goes on a bit too long.
They obviously don't know or didn't know about deleted scenes.
No,
really?
For me, Kubrick was such a great director. I think that every shot in this film was there for a reason, and he must have wanted to show the, you know, just I don't know, draw you in with the slowness and stuff like that. And you got to remember, like, it's different watching the film at home than it is in the cinema. I think it is. But anyway, the film looks great. There's some great music used, some classical music that fits quite well and goes with the scope of things. But
was the music made for this movie specifically?
I think the main theme, you know, I'm pretty sure that was composed with. I know the other songs, I think, are like proper classical, but I don't know. Okay. I really have no idea, but I'm pretty sure it's the 2001 theme that opens the movie and closes the movie. But don't quote me on that. So, okay, your thoughts. Let's just.
Oh, you're done, are you?
I'm not done, but I'll throw it over to you for now. Your thoughts on the film.
Again, the shots were amazing. How they did things, I don't even know, but I'm interested in it because it's so old. It's like that they shouldn't be able to do that. All from the floating pen, the astronaut outside of the spacecraft, and so on. I really, really, really enjoyed Hal, the 9000 computer dude, and that whole thing right there. And I wish that was like the main thing, but that I feel like they cut that off. And it didn't really explain why things turned out the way they did with him, which pissed me off, because that was the most interesting thing for me. It's like, fuck the monolith. I'm sorry, I said the F word.
It's fine, I don't care.
Seriously, it was like, he stole the show for me, and so did the two astronauts that were in it, and then it ended without even explaining it at all. And then all the focus was on what happened next, which just...
Yeah, we'll cover that at the end of the video. So
really? Okay, let me cover the opening then.
Okay.
Fine. Apes. Sure. Okay. Pointless to me. Yeah, they could have made it shorter. The whole movie just dragged for me. And the opening scene with the monkeys was just like, I sat like... Oh, what's that thing? Okay, that's cool. And then the music or the sound just put me off completely. And I feel sorry for people who were in the cinema that couldn't turn the freaking sound down because it hurt my ears. They're probably in there. And then everything was great. It dragged on. It was a little slow, sure, but I was really intrigued when the people came in and there was the video calls, and I was just thinking, oh, that's pretty cool, you know, because that's the way it is now.
Yeah.
Only better quality and all of that stuff. But that whole thing was cool, how the other astronauts were frozen down or like put in like hibernation, what do you call it?
Stasis.
And the spinning wheel was amazing,
Mm-hmm.
and I liked how he was playing chess with
Hal.
Hal. And I was saying, well, that's what we do now. Did they couldn't do that back in '68, could they? But now we are playing chess with.
I don't know.
Many years ago, we started playing chess with computers.
Yeah, I
so
think that was one of the early things. But
yeah.
Not sure when.
So things like that was cool, and I really enjoyed the middle 1 hour 45 minutes, I think.
Right.
And then you want to talk about the ending before I cover that stuff?
Well, first of all, you got your elbow on my hair. It's really hurting. Thank you. Just pulling it back. Yeah, the whole HAL 9000 thing, I think, is the best thing about the film. It's
Yes.
the most engaging part of the film. It's the main part of the film that has a kind of semblance to a normal film, I guess. But that's what I kind of do like about it, is that it's not like a normal film. It is unique, and yeah, I can't sit here and say that I enjoy every second and I don't get bored at times because of how some of the scenes drag, but I do enjoy all the stuff with Hal, and just a very creepy voice. You know, it's not like a I am Hal 9. It's I'm Hal 9000. Very soft-spoken human voice, and it gets
Like-
kind of creepy and
Yeah, because his voice
disconcerting.
is always calm. Like,
Yes,
no
there's-
matter the situation, it's like,
and they raise
I'm afraid, Dave.
yeah, they raise questions about whether it actually feels emotions and stuff like that, and it's brought up that a HAL 9000 has never made a mistake ever, and then of course he does make a mistake, and then they're wondering
But
why.
it didn't.
Well, yeah, oh, that's the thing. Yeah, it turns out. I'll just throw up a spoilers at the beginning of the video.
Well, you already said that there would be spoilers.
I don't know, whatever. But yeah, so it's never really resolved why Hal kind of turns on the crew and kills them, or tries to kill all of them at least. It just kind of is. And so it's kind of just left up to what you want to make of it, I think. And there's pros and cons to that for me. But yeah, the final sequence of the film, you know, Dave finds this other monolith floating out by Jupiter. And he goes on this cosmic ride through light and sound, and it's very trippy, and it goes on for
Lot
a
of
very long
sound.
time. And
It drags. It's like, oh, let's
I
do
agree.
these lights.
I agree.
Oh, that's cool. Now, instead of making them come at you like this, let's do this for about 5 minutes. Oh, and let's try and make it look like there are galaxies and stars and stuff. Yeah, let's... and do a close-up of his eye at least 20 times. Yeah, in different colors. Maybe a little bit of negative, maybe a little bit of infrared or whatever. You know, just change the colors around and they won't get bored, I'm sure of it. Oh, saying to Luke, I'm sure people that are high on something loves that bit, but I was sat there, when it passed by 2 minutes of it, I was thinking, really? Did they run out of ideas? What is going on? It's more fun watching Guitar Hero than that stuff. At least something's going on. And then the ending.
Yeah, so all this stuff is finished, you know, all the
Drag.
trippy colours and stuff, and then suddenly David ends up in
Not
this,
only trippy colors, but it looks like the Grand Canyon, only negative.
yeah, there's like weird colour negatives that for me, I thought it looked a bit dated actually.
I feel like they had some extra shots from the beginning and they're like, oh, just put that in there. We were flying around with helicopters over the Grand Canyon, put that in there, but change the colors around. They love it.
Yeah.
No.
But
Well,
then
maybe other people do.
yeah, I didn't really like those shots particularly. The lights and stuff was cool, but the actual stuff that you
Yeah.
could tell was just Earth with, well, maybe it was
20
meant to be.
seconds,
I don't know. I
maybe.
don't know what it was for, but anyway, Dave ends up in this room, and then he sees himself outside of the pod, and now he's suddenly aged, and then there's a slow build up to him walking through this room with like white floors and very eerie, kind of clinical feel to it. You know, very just perfect. And he sees an old man in a bedroom. Turned out to be himself. He's aged again, and then he sits down, and then he knocks a glass over. Then he sees himself again in the bed, and he's just like the oldest you could ever get, just like Yoda. His face is like almost falling off, he's so old. And then the final monolith appears in the room and he reaches up to it, and then suddenly he's changed into this weird, it's called the Star Child, I guess.
Creepy looking baby.
Yeah, creepy looking baby in a little orb, which then appears above Earth, and that's the end of the film. And it's like, I guess you can really simply look at it as the monolith appears and, you know, ape to human, and then humans going out and finding something that's not human and then evolving into something else. But I don't know what the point is. I like the whole ending scene where he sees the different versions of himself getting older.
That was really cool.
It is a really cool visual, and I like it, and it was a nice slow build up that worked. It didn't drag too much. And then,
yes, that was the thing. It happened quickly.
And then the Star Child, I just think, again, is a great image. And with the music, it's a satisfying end on a visual audio level, but as far as like the plot, it's kind of like, I mean, for me, overall,
the best word, I must say, that sums up the ending is really. Dot.
Overall, I really, really like it. It's definitely, I feel like it is a kind of case of style over substance, but then you could easily, some people can read into it in different ways and get different meanings out of it, and I like that about it, but I personally don't get any kind of deeper meaning from it myself, personally.
I like that when it actually gives you some information, but for me, I have no, I have no clue what it means. It's like the ending of Lost. You're sat there like, what was that? What was the point of these 3 or 5 or whatever seasons? It's like, really? Is that really? That was what it was like for me. Yeah. They should have just at least give us an answer about how or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Like why did he turn on them? You know, was it all part of the plan? Was it the humans who programmed him that way? Or
was Hal him?
Yeah, I mean, why not? Why not?
You know, like, because this mission was so important to him. But why then would he try to kill him? I don't know. It doesn't make, nothing makes sense to me. But I like the space thing. That's it. Yeah. It's a great visual movie.
Yes.
Other than that, nothing, really.
That's fair enough.
Visually, I'd give it a 10. Except for the freaking light stuff. Because that was just like lights throwing up on the screen in front of you.
I liked it. I thought it was a cool visual. It was just the negative stuff I thought was a bit dated. Yeah, maybe went a bit too long.
The intermission was more exciting. And that was a black screen.
There is an intermission, yeah, worth noting. So there we go, 2001: A Space Odyssey. And of course, as we end these videos, is it a film you must see before you die? I'll ask you first. Yes or no?
Well, yes. Because of its 1968 and they could do all of that.
Okay. Just,
unless you have a very, very creative mind, you might end up as pissed off as me at the end of it. But if you like coming up with like solutions to everything and you're like a little Sherlock or something, then you know.
Yeah, I mean you could watch this film over and over again and find things and you know make up your own kind of meaning to it.
I like that how they do a lot of long shots. You know what I mean? Like they last a while, and I'm thinking, wow, if that went wrong, it would take a long time to do that over again.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And everything like that was great, except for the beginning and the end.
Yeah. So yeah, for me, is it a film you must see before you die? Yes. I'm surprised you said yes. I thought you'd be like, no.
Luke, the visual. If you enjoy like cinematography at all, you have to watch this movie. If you like space at all, you have to watch this movie.
I just thought your personal reaction to the
what, my rage?
No, not your rage. Your annoyance to the. You know, the content of the story and stuff. I thought that would override the visuals for you.
70% of the movie was great.
Okay.
That's more than 50, and that's enough to...
It is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
It's like, it's...
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, for me, it is a film you must see before you die. You could love it, it could be one of your favourite movies ever, or you could just appreciate the visuals. Either way, it's worth a shot.
It's like sushi.
Yeah. Although, I don't know why I'm saying this as if I'm recommending it to people, because I've already said there's spoilers in this video, so what the hell. We're going to have to try and think of some better way of doing this, where we do the spoilers at the end or something. But anyway, thanks for watching. That was 2001 Space Odyssey, and we'll see you with the next one.